Happy April, friends! Hope that you had some splendid Easter time, and now you're ready for market news. So let's see what is new in power semiconductors industry. Japanese chipmaker Renesas Electronics confirmed it would take at least 100 days to get back to normal production at its fire-hit plant, even as the government urged some Taiwanese companies to help with their alternative chip production. Earlier last week, Japan's Industry Minister Hiroshi Kojiyama said Japan has asked some Taiwanese manufacturers to cooperate in alternative production of semiconductors. The Japanese government has called on equipment makers to help Renesas restore its production. Global Foundries, the third largest foundry, is planning to invest $1.4 billion in its chip factories this year, and will likely double that investment next year, CEO Tom Caulfield told CNBC in an interview. Caulfield said the company's manufacturing capacity is completely booked and the industry-wide semiconductor supply could lag behind demand until 2022 or later. The world is currently facing a severe semiconductor shortage that has forced automakers and electronics manufacturers to delay the launch of the new product lines. There is no quick way out of the crunch. The world's largest contract chip manufacturer, TSMC, is expecting demand to remain high. So high, in fact, that it's planning to invest a staggering $100 billion over the next 3 years to supply it. Truth is, semiconductor development is an expensive business, and $100 billion won't be at all hard to spend. TSMC has budgeted $12 billion for the development of a new semiconductor factory in Phoenix, with construction due to start next year. China announced tax breaks to spur growth of its semiconductor industry. Leaders declared accelerating efforts to transform China into a self-reliant technology power to be this year's top economic priority after the tariff dispute with Washington highlighted its reliance on US components for smartphones and other industries Beijing wants to develop. Chip makers can import machinery and raw materials tax-free through 2030, the Chinese Ministry of Finance and other agencies announced. Under the latest measure, machinery and raw materials that cannot be produced or whose performance cannot meet demand would be exempt from import tax, the government said. That applies to photoresists, masks, polishing pads and liquids, silicon crystals and wafers, materials to build clean rooms and other production equipment. After a battle with Lamentum, II-VI says it's entering into a definitive agreement to acquire Coherent. The combination of II-VI and Coherent will increase collective exposure to irreversible megatrends for decades to come. The transaction is expected to close by the end of the year and has been approved by both companies' boards, but is subject to customary closing conditions, including receipt of required regulatory approvals and approval of II-VI and Coherent shareholders. The combined company will have revenues of about $4.1 billion and available market of approximately $25 billion for the complementary lasers, optics, and electronics technologies at the subsystems and system level in the aerospace and defense, life sciences, and laser additive manufacturing. On April 15, join a free webinar with experts from STMicroelectronics and Waters Power Systems. We will explore STMicroelectronics' latest technologies used in high-efficient PFC systems, the brand-new M6 MOSFET family for soft and hard switching, understand how isolated gate drivers STJP2 perform in combination with Gen 2 SiC MOSFETs at different switching frequencies, and learn what makes the difference between a SiC diode and an ultra-fast diode in a 1 kW PFC system. That's it for today. Thanks everyone for watching. As usual, see you next week. Meanwhile, go to Marketing Psycho website for more information or join me in social media. See you soon.